Fame in childhood isn't just a passing moment. It's a lasting echo that follows a person throughout their entire life. For every celebrity on this list, the shadow of the role they once played, the innocent girl, the quirky nerd, the teen heartthrob, never completely fades away. The transformations we see today are the outcome of a lifelong battle with that echo. Some are crushed by it, their present lives fractured by the haunting sound of their past. Others try to shout over it, building a louder, stronger identity to silence it. The visible changes, the thin faces, the bold tattoos, are only the outer signs of an inner war against the ghosts of their own fame. Within the colorful pop landscape of the late Aaron Carter. In the 1990s, Aaron Carter became a true teen sensation, a fresh-faced pop idol whose contagious energy shined through hits like I Want Candy and Aaron's Party, Come Get It. With his signature blonde hair and bright, magnetic smile, he captured the hearts of an entire generation of young fans. Starting to perform at just 7 years old and releasing his debut album at 9, Carter's rise was nothing short of meteoric, quickly making him one of the biggest names in the pre-teen and teen pop world. But the overwhelming pressures of early fame cast a long and painful shadow over his life. As the years went by, Carter's journey turned into a public and heartbreaking battle with substance abuse and serious mental health struggles. He spoke openly about being diagnosed with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and severe anxiety, offering a rare look into the chaos and pain that existed behind his celebrity image. This inner conflict took a heavy toll on his physical health. The once angelic pop star went through a shocking transformation, becoming nearly unrecognizable to those who remembered his golden days. His face grew thin and hollow, his teeth deteriorated, and his skin appeared worn far beyond his age, a harsh reminder of the devastating effects of addiction. His weight changed dramatically, further altering the image of the teen heartthrob who once covered countless bedroom posters. Tragically, Carter's life came to an end in November 2022, when he was found dead at his home in California at the age of 34. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning after inhaling difluoroethane and taking alprazolam, the generic form of Xanax. His untimely passing sent shockwaves through the entertainment world and served as a heartbreaking end to a life that, despite its immense promise, was ultimately consumed by the harsh realities of addiction and mental illness, as his brother Nick Carter sorrowfully shared. Lark Voorhies. As Lisa Turtle on the classic 1990s sitcom Saved by the Bell, Lark Voorhies became the ultimate fashion icon of Bayside High. With her bold, colorful outfits, she created a distinct sense of style that made her the show's breakout star and a trendsetter for an entire generation of viewers. Her character was confident, sharp, and destined for a future in fashion, a role that helped establish Voorhies as a beloved television personality. But after the show's massive success, a noticeable change began to emerge. During her rare public appearances, fans often found it hard to recognize the once lively actress. This dramatic shift has been tied to a deeply personal battle with mental health. In 2020, Voorhies courageously revealed that she had been diagnosed with schizoaffective thought disorder, a condition that combines symptoms of schizophrenia and mood disorders. Her mother had previously shared that Voorhies also struggled with bipolar disorder, explaining that certain traumatic events had deeply affected her. This emotional struggle became visible in the changes to her physical appearance. Rumors spread about possible cosmetic procedures, with people pointing out differences in her facial features and an uneven skin tone, something Voorhies herself has sometimes said was the result of poor makeup choices. The lively spark that once defined Lisa Turtle now seems more distant, replaced by a quieter and more fragile presence. For years, Voorhies stepped away from the spotlight, her personal challenges often overshadowing the character that made her famous. However, in an inspiring comeback, she returned to play Lisa Turtle once again in the Saved by the Bell reboot, a moment fans and former castmates celebrated warmly. Today, she continues to focus on her mental health, making occasional public appearances and connecting with fans, showing remarkable resilience in the face of her deeply personal struggles. Edward Furlong wasn't just another child actor, he became an overnight global sensation. At just 13 years old, he was thrown into the international spotlight for his unforgettable role as young John Connor in James Cameron's 1991 hit Terminator 2: Judgment Day. His rebellious attitude, raw talent, and signature 90s haircut made him the definition of cool, and Hollywood quickly labeled him one of the most promising young stars of his time. But the pressure and sudden fame proved to be a dangerous road. A dark battle with addiction soon took hold, pulling him into a devastating spiral of substance abuse that would shape his adult life. His struggles with heroin, meth, and cocaine became public knowledge, marked by numerous legal issues, including arrests for domestic violence and DUIs. This destructive pattern not only derailed what had once been a brilliant career, but also took a brutal toll on his physical appearance. The transformation from the fresh-faced teen idol to the man he is today has been both shocking and tragic. Years of hard living left deep scars. By his late 40s, Furlong's face told the story of decades spent fighting personal demons, swollen, tired, and weathered. For a long time, his teeth showed serious decay, a painful reminder of his decline, though he has since had them repaired as part of his recovery journey. Now, Furlong has embraced sobriety and occasionally returns to acting, showing determination to rebuild his life. Still, the striking contrast between the bright-eyed boy once destined to save the world and the man who spent years trying to save himself remains one of Hollywood's most powerful cautionary tales. Amanda Bynes. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Amanda Bynes was the undisputed golden girl of Nickelodeon. With her bubbly personality, sharp comedic timing, and sweet girl-next-door charm, she became a ratings powerhouse, starring in hit shows like All That and her own series, The Amanda Show. Loved by an entire generation, she seamlessly moved from TV to a rising movie career with roles in What a Girl Wants and Hairspray. She was on track to become one of Hollywood's top comedic actresses. But around 2013, her life took a sharp and very public turn. The world watched in disbelief as she went through a severe mental health crisis that unfolded in real time on social media. Her Twitter account became filled with strange, alarming, and often confusing posts, while her public behavior grew more erratic, leading to multiple legal issues, including a DUI arrest and a shocking incident where she set a small fire in a stranger's driveway. This public breakdown was a reflection of a much deeper internal struggle. Bynes was eventually diagnosed with bipolar disorder and spoke openly about her struggles with substance abuse, including an addiction to Adderall. The toll of her struggles was clear in her changing appearance, marked by dramatic weight shifts, rumored plastic surgery, and her now famous face tattoo. In 2013, she was placed under a conservatorship controlled mostly by her parents, which remained in place for nearly a decade. Since the conservatorship ended in 2022, Amanda has been quietly focusing on recovery, making slow but steady progress away from the spotlight. While recent photos show someone calmer and more stable, her story remains one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking and public examples of the crushing pressure on young stars and the tragic consequences when mental health goes untreated. Taylor Momsen's journey from beloved child actress to rock band frontwoman is one of the most dramatic transformations in modern pop culture. She first captured hearts as the sweet Cindy Lou Who in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, a role defined by innocence that seemed to set the stage for a career in wholesome family entertainment. As a teenager, Momsen gained even more fame as Jenny Humphrey on the hit show Gossip Girl. Her character's shift from an ambitious Brooklyn girl to a rebellious young woman mirrored Momsen's own off-screen transformation. In a bold move, she left acting to pursue her true passion, music. In 2009, she formed the hard rock band The Pretty Reckless, unveiling an entirely new persona. The cherubic child star was replaced by a fierce rock artist, complete with heavy black makeup, leather outfits, and a commanding, gritty voice. This transformation was a deliberate effort to shed her old image and create an authentic identity. Today, Momsen is almost unrecognizable from her early roles. Her story isn't one of a fallen star, but of radical self-reinvention. She intentionally left behind her former persona to become the artist she always felt meant to be, marking a striking and purposeful evolution from Cindy Lou Who to rock goddess. Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin, once the world's most famous child actor after his role as Kevin McAllister in the Home Alone films, went through a turbulent journey from global fame to a reclusive life and back. His early success was followed by a withdrawal from Hollywood due to the pressures of fame, family conflicts, and legal battles over his earnings. This period was clouded by persistent rumors of drug use, with paparazzi photos showing a thin, worn figure that stood in stark contrast to his cherubic on-screen image. However, Culkin has since built a remarkable story of redemption. He deliberately stepped away from the negative influences of his past, focused on his health and well-being, and found stability in his relationship with fellow former child star Brenda Song. Now a father, he has embraced a life that appears deeply fulfilling. At 44 years old, Macaulay Culkin has returned to the public eye, not as a blockbuster actor, but as a self-aware, grounded individual who has come to terms with his extraordinary past. While his challenges have left their mark, his story now represents resilience and hope, showing that it's possible to navigate the pitfalls of childhood fame and find peace. Dustin Diamond. For a generation that grew up in the 1990s, Dustin Diamond was inseparable from his role as Screech Powers on the sitcom Saved by the Bell. His portrayal of the nerdy, lovable sidekick provided essential comic relief and made him a key part of the show's ensemble. However, the shadow of Screech proved unavoidable, shaping and complicating his adult life. After the show ended, Diamond struggled with being typecast and had a hard time finding acting roles that didn't involve his iconic character. This challenge led him to make several controversial choices to stay in the public eye. He directed a widely publicized adult film and published a tell-all book, Behind the Bell, which included sensationalized claims that created tension with his former castmates. His attempts to remain visible also included reality TV appearances that often exposed his personal struggles. His life took a turbulent turn with growing legal troubles, culminating in a 2014 conviction for his role in a bar fight. The final chapter of his life was tragically short. In early January 2021, Diamond was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell carcinoma. The cancer was aggressive, and he passed away just weeks later on February 1, 2021, at the age of 44. Diamond's passing left behind the complex legacy of a talented child actor who brought joy to millions, but was ultimately overwhelmed by the struggle to escape the very role that made him famous. Angus T. Jones. For 10 years, Angus T. Jones was the sweet-faced star of the hit sitcom 2.5 Men. Growing up on screen, his character Jake Harper was central to the show's success, eventually making Jones the highest-paid child actor in television history. Then, in a move that shocked the entertainment world, Jones went through a profound spiritual awakening. In 2012, after being baptized into the Seventh-day Adventist Church, he realized his new faith was at odds with the show's risque humor. In a viral video, he passionately criticized the series as corrupting and urged viewers to stop watching, a dramatic public rejection of the very project that had brought him fame and fortune. His physical transformation was just as striking as his spiritual one. He left the show, stepped away from the spotlight, and abandoned his clean-cut image, growing a long, scruffy beard. This was a deliberate rejection of the Hollywood system. Today, Angus T. Jones is largely unrecognizable. He has embraced a quieter life, attending college and working behind the scenes in production. His story is a rare example of a young man who reached the pinnacle of television success and chose to walk away from millions of dollars in worldwide fame, seemingly to protect his own soul. Macaulay Culkin. Once the world's biggest child star after playing Kevin McAllister in the Home Alone films, went through a turbulent journey from global fame to a reclusive life and back. His early success was followed by a retreat from Hollywood due to the pressures of fame, family conflicts, and legal battles over his earnings. This period was clouded by persistent rumors of drug use, with paparazzi photos showing a thin, worn figure that stood in stark contrast to his cherubic on-screen image. However, Culkin has since created a remarkable story of redemption. He deliberately stepped away from the negative influences of his past, focused on his health and well-being, and found stability in his relationship with fellow former child star Brenda Song. Now a father, he has embraced a life that appears deeply fulfilling. At 44 years old, Macaulay Culkin has re-emerged in the public eye, not as a blockbuster actor, but as a self-aware, grounded individual who has come to terms with his extraordinary past. While the challenges he faced have left their mark, his story is now one of resilience and hope, showing that it's possible to navigate the pitfalls of childhood stardom and find peace. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new video. See you in the next one.